as I promised you that I will be doing every week, that I will be going live, and we will be talking about episode number 4 today. Now, episode number 4, as I said before, that if you want to translate, you need first to look at language, but where it is grammar, word, style, and sounds. And of course, you look at these, but they look more at the meaning, because the meaning is very, very important. And from the meaning, you are to start translating. I have covered before in the previous episode last week, points relating to sentence, clause, phrase, and word. And then also we looked at other elements relating to the grammar itself and how to work on grammar. So now let's have a look at what we have done so far and where we are moving forward as such. Let's just go into the PowerPoint that I have here for you. And as you can see in the PowerPoint that we discussed, let me just adjust the camera so it will be clear to you and not as, so that you can see it very clearly. I'm just going to start on this. So this is what we have covered. We said that it is the language, and the language, or they've got grammar, and you've got word and style and sounds. And then after that, of course, we moved on to the components, and in the components we looked at the sentence, which is subject, verb, object, clause, also subject, verb, object, and then phrases. We looked at the different phrases: noun phrase, verb phrase, adjective phrase, prepositional phrase, and adverb phrase. And then with the word order that's in the sentence, and we know that it is either verb, subject, object, as in Arabic, and also in English, you'll have the other ones, which is from subject, verb, object in English. After that, we are looking at the other points here, which is relating to the points that I have raised before, but I've given you some examples, like ذهب الرجل إلى السوق, the man went to the market. And then we looked, in terms of grammar, of course, you can look at the subject, verb, object. You can look at sentences as well. And in these sentences, you look at the subject, which is the sun, and rises, تشرق, from the east, من الشرق. Of course, the subject, verb, object, it turns in English, as I said before, where you have the subject is verb first, and the verb, then the object, whereas the subject here, verb, and the rest of the sentence. But when we are translating it, we say تشرق الشمس من الشرق أو تطلع الشمس من الشرق. So this one is for present simple, because it's a fact, حقيقة. Then he stood up as soon as we arrived. وقف حالما وصلنا أو حينما وصلنا وقف. وقف حينما وصلنا. So, إذن as soon as هذه طبعا في الماضي, in the past, وقف حينما وصلنا. And the third one for the future, they will inform us their plan. سوف يخبروننا بخطتهم أو سيخبروننا بخطتهم أو سيعلمون بخطتهم. And sometimes they say سيخبروننا بخطتهم. Present, past, and future. Then we move on in this to what's called modals. And modals, of course, we have can and could, will and would, may and might, ought to, and etc. And here, of course, a translation of it will be a little bit different. You can drive my car. بمقدورك أن تقود سيارتي. Of course, the word can here means I'm giving you permission. يعني أعطيك إذنا بأن تسوق أو تقود سيارتي. You may arrive on time. لعلك تصل في الموعد. On time يعني في الموعد المحدد. In time في الموعد وليس بالضرورة محدد. In time and by time يعني مع الوقت. فكلمة may, the word may here, you may arrive on time يعني هناك احتمال كبير بأن تصل على الوقت في الوقت المحدد. Ought to. I ought to visit my cousin soon. ينبغي أن أزور ابن عمي قريبا. ينبغي أن أزور ابن عمي قريبا. فإذا هون كلمة ينبغي. Have to. The girls have to go as it's getting late. اضطرت البنات لأن يذهبن باعتبار أن الوقت قد تأخر. ممكن نقول بما أن الوقت تأخر فقد اضطرت البنات إلى الرحيل. So these are the models. هذه هي الأفعال المساعدة في الترجمة لها عدة استخدامات. We move on to from that one to after the models to the questions. أسئلة. Who, من, what, ماذا, where, أين, when, متى, why, لماذا, and how, كيف. And here we have an example. How do you prepare this dish? ما طريقتك في تحضير أو كيف تحضر هذا الطبق؟ كيف تحضر هذا الطبق أو هذه الوجبة؟ What are the difficulties you're facing in this job? ما هي الصعوبات التي تواجهها في هذا العمل؟ ما الصعوبات التي تواجهها في هذا العمل؟ لاحظين أن التي is not there in the English, which we don't need it in Arabic, in English, but we do need it in Arabic. So what are the difficulties you're facing in this job? ما الصعوبات التي تواجهها في هذا العمل? And then why? Why isn't the work done on time? لماذا لا يتم إنجاز العمل في الوقت المحدد? Why isn't the work done on time? انتهينا من هذا. ننتقل إلى move forward from the questions and the grammar. As you can see, we have finished the sentence, the clause, the phrase, the word order, the tenses, the modals, and the questions. Now, in the negation, nafi, not, never, neither, nor, no. Examples: he is unable to take this job. هو غير قادر على تولي هذه الوظيفة أو استلام هذه الوظيفة. They never say goodbye to me. لم يودعوني أبدا. I am not ready for this task. لست مستعدا لهذه المهمة. This way we have actually looked at the negation. So we have covered in the grammar and syntax, sentence, clause, phrase, word order, tenses, modals, questions, and negation. Now imperatives. Imperatives يعني فعل الأمر. Verbs ordering you to do something. Example, wash your hands before eating. اغسل يديك قبل الطعام أو قبل تناول الطعام. Watch out for any errors in this text. انتبه لأي أخطاء في هذا النص. Drink a lot of water as it is hot here. اشرب الكثير من الماء فالجو حار هنا. طبعا كلمة الجو اللي هي it يعني تعطي معنى الجو. Drink a lot of water as it is hot here. اشرب الكثير من أو أكثر من شرب الماء. أكثر من شرب الماء يعني we can say أكثر، لأن هنا كلمة lot تعطي معنى الإكثار، فممكن أقول أكثر من شرب الماء باعتبار أن الجو حار هنا. And you can say that as well. So you see, it actually helps in producing it in different ways. So you can say اشرب كثيرا أو أكثر من شرب الماء باعتبار أن الجو حار. And we move on in grammar again: sentence, clause, phrase, word, tenses, modals, questions, negation, imperative, and then after that is adjectives. Adjectives means الصفات. They are words that end in os, if, al, ent, for example, etc. Many of these adjectives, and of course there is the adverbs which they end with ly. يعني بطريقة أو بأسلوب, in the manner of. Examples: always, usually. But then the word lovely is not an adverb, يعني جميل. Then you have the different articles, whether they are a, an, or the, which you need not to translate. But then you have the conjunctions, which is however, but, and, or, nevertheless, and despite. And this way, we have covered quite a lot of these different areas of a grammar that you need to actually work on and try to improve in your translation, so that you can actually be in a good position to and be confident enough to actually do a lot of exercises. Now, what I would like you to do, those who are listening or those who are watching, is to wait for any examples or any questions that you'd like to ask me in translation, whether they are related to today's class or just in general. Because I mean, sometimes some students seem to have an issue or would like to ask me some questions. So here I am more than happy to wait for you to give me your questions that you have. So prepare your questions to ask me about translation. Of course, translation can mean also interpreting. So it's not only translation, but interpreting and translation and other areas in translation. So now I'm waiting for any kind of questions that you might have for me. And if you don't have any, then I can bid you goodbye. And of course, this means that we will meet again next Saturday, where I will be talking more about how to translate. And these are the basics of translating. And this is the episode number 4, where I am actually explaining some elements in translation relating to syntax, as we said. And syntax means النحو. يعني النحو والقواعد في الترجمة. طبعا هناك العديد من الترجمة الفورية. إيمان عرفات عبد اللطيف تقول, it's asking a question, and the question is: كيف أتقن الترجمة الفورية ذاتيا؟ سؤال جميل. Very nice question. Interpreting requires a lot of practice. That's all. What you need to do, you need to find videos that are where somebody is speaking in front of the camera. and it's preferably the subject will be something that you need to be aware of. For example, let's say the subject is about the climate, المناخ, climate change, تغيرات المناخ مثلا. You have to watch quite a few videos first to familiarize yourself with the two languages, English and Arabic. Because sometimes some terms are used in Arabic for certain terms that are used in English. So you need to rehearse, if you like, or practice on them. And then, of course, you can start doing some videos. Some students tend to slow down the videos a little bit, like 25% or something, so that you can actually catch up. But of course, I would not advise you to slow it down. I would rather advise you to do it 1 minute first, then 2 minutes, then 3 minutes, then 5 minutes, then 10 minutes and 15 minutes for simultaneous interpreting. Now, the other thing which is very important in interpreting is that you have to improve your pronunciation. And then you use what's called pencil exercise. And that is from Daniel Pigon. And he recommends to use the pencil exercise, which means you take a text and you put your pencil in your mouth like this, and you start reading a text to improve your pronunciation skills, because it's very important that your skills in pronunciation are up to scratch, really good. You cannot be a good interpreter if you're interpreting if your pronunciation is terrible. Now, part of the pronunciation issue is the pronunciation of letters like R. For example, the word car, or far, or father, sister. You don't pronounce the R. You have to get used to this. So how do you do that? You put headphones and you listen quite well in your ear, so you can hear very well how people speak in the other language. So this is the R, which you need to be careful with, as in the case of sister, brother, father, teacher, writer. That is, the R's are swallowed up. Then there's also the other pronunciation which you need to be perfecting as well, which I've noticed that many students tend to have problem with, is the ing at the end of the verb, which is a nasalized, what's called nasalized sound. And it comes from the nose. I'll give you an example. For example, the word writing, speaking, fighting, educating, listening, seeing. So all of these, talking, all of these, the ing is not pronounced as g or k sound. They are not there. So you need to improve your way of speaking so that it will be good and people can recognize the words. There's also a problem of recognizing words like 15 or 50, for example, the numbers. So you have to focus on the numbers, you have to focus on the names, and pronounce them correctly. Maybe forvo.com, you can check how certain names are pronounced. This is very, very important as well. So you can do that as well. I hope that this answers your query about interpreting. You need to do a lot of practice, lots of videos. You put them in your ear. You have to have what's called divided attention, which is listening to what you are saying and also listening to the video and what they are telling you. And you need to be fast-ish. Make sure that you finish the idea, the concept, not the sentences. You focus more on the concepts, because concepts are expressed in 2 or 3 sentences usually, if not more. So that's what you need to do in order to catch up with the other speaker who's speaking and be able to convey the same ideas and the same thing. Any other questions? Any other questions about this? I'll wait for you to give me any more questions, and if not, there aren't any questions, then I will leave that for another week, for another live show, or another live video, as I'm doing here now, which is trying to make sure that you are actually learning something from these videos that I'm giving you. So I'll wait for another question, and if not, then I can stop recording or stop the live show. Any other questions you have in mind, or you'd like to actually? Okay. If there are no other questions, I'd like to ask you and bid you goodbye, and I'll see you in next class, which is next Saturday, where we will talk about again more related to how to translate the basics of translation. Have a nice evening and goodbye.